everyone! This is Heart and welcome to my kitchen. Today we'll be making a chunky chocolate chip cookie recipe that is similar to what you can find like the New York style or Levan cookies. So we tried to recreate the same cookies so that you don't have to fly all the way to New York just to try them. We will cream our butter and sugar together. So this recipe does not need any mixer at all, just your trusty spatula and mixing bowl. Because we're not going to overwork the butter and sugar together, we just want to blend them. So that's the butter, then our sugar. Okay, so we want to mix the butter and sugar together just until there are no bits of butter that you can see. So after the butter and sugar is blended together, we're going to mix in our eggs. So one at a time. So you won't have a hard time mixing it. And then we'll also add in our vanilla extract. Okay, so once this is blended, we'll get our all-purpose flour. And then, in our all-purpose flour, we will mix in our leavening agents, which is our baking powder, baking soda, and rock salt. Okay. It's nice to have some bits of rock salt in there so that you have a contrast to the sweetness of our chocolate. Okay, we just want to whisk this together so that we incorporate the leavening agents into our flour. So the reason we're doing this by hand is we don't want to overwork our cookie dough because we want it to be chewy inside and soft. So we're going to add in all of our flour and then our chopped roasted walnuts. So you can use any type of nut that you like. Cashews, pecans, almonds. And then we're going to add in a whole half kilogram or 500 grams of a mixture of dark and milk chocolate. So I just find it that you have that intense and nice chocolate flavor if you mix in the milk and the dark together. And also we have a mixture here of callets, buttons, chunks to give you that nice chocolate texture. And then we just gently mix all of this just until, again, there are no dry flour particles. Okay, and that's it. Once we have our cookie dough ready, we are going to portion them. You can use a weighing scale to portion your cookies. So we have here. Or you can just eyeball them if you don't have a weighing scale at home. But it's actually better to portion these cookies just using your hands, not by using an ice cream scoop. Because sometimes when you portion it with an ice cream scoop, it becomes compact and it has that smooth finish, which is not what we want to achieve. What we want to achieve is for it to have that rough, crackly surface. So we have just a baking pan lined with non-stick baking paper. And then we're going to portion this to up to 125 to 130 grams each. So it's actually a big cookie. You just want to lightly form it into a ball and then place it in a baking paper lined pan or sheet. Let it cool and set for at least 5 to 6 hours. So the reason for that is it will achieve that nice, chunky, thick texture when you bake the cookies when it's cold. So you see, you don't want them to be that smooth, uniform finish. That's why we want to portion it by hand. If you're working in a hot area, if the dough is too soft for you to handle, or sometimes if you have hot hands, what you can do is just place the dough or the bowl inside the fridge for it to set a little bit. So this recipe will make about 12 portions of around 125 to 130 gram cookies. So we want to refrigerate this for about 6 hours or more. And it also keeps in the freezer for about a week or so. Okay, so we have here some portion cookie dough that has been resting inside the fridge for about 6 hours. So you'll know when they're ready because you'll see that they're hard. And if you can hear the thump, you'll know that it is already set and ready for baking. So this does not need to be thawed out. So we have here our baking sheets lined with non-stick baking paper. So right out of the fridge, we're going to bake these. So we can fit about 3 pieces per sheet. And then we will bake this at a preheated oven, 400 degrees Fahrenheit. So I know it's high because we want to have that crisp and crunchy exterior, and then we still want that soft and chewy interior and that melty chocolate. So it takes about 15 to 18 minutes to bake. Okay, and now we have our chunky chocolate chip cookies. So these have been slightly cooled. So right out of the oven, you want to cool them for a little bit, just until they're warm. So you can hold them. So I'll show you. This is what our cookies look like. You'll see it's almost as big as my hand. And the best part, when you cut into it, has a nice gooey texture in the middle, but it still has that structure or crunchy exterior. So what we are looking for in a cookie. So of course, if you cannot bake all of the dough at once, you can keep them inside the freezer for up to 2 weeks or up to a month. And then when you're ready to bake them, you just preheat your oven, then bake them straight out of the freezer. And that is it for our chunky chocolate chip cookie recipe, or the New York style cookies. I hope you enjoyed our recipe for today and you learned a lot. Of course, try this recipe at home. Please don't forget to like and follow on our social media accounts and subscribe here on our YouTube channel so you get updated on our future recipes. Make sure to comment down below if you have any comments or requests. So this is Heart Caliente and this is the Heart Baker Kitchen. Thank you and see you next time.